Good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome back to Phatkat Collections. Got another Pagani Design watch for you folks today, and this one's been on my radar for a while. This is one of their iced out versions, so let's get right into it. So, right off the bat, here is the box. Pagani Design is an awesome company. I like the fact they don't put a lot of time into the box. It's basically just a simple, kind of faux, kind of almost like a deep blue leather. Open it up, you got the Pagani branding on the inside, polishing cloth, and a really basic kind of foam cushion. You know, hang tag, you know, pretty basic. Nothing really to write home about, which is fine by me. You know, I'd rather a company give you a really great value for the watch as opposed to, you know, all these things cost money, right? So if you have a watch that, you know, has a really great presentation, beautiful box, they're going to pass that cost on to you. So I like that Pagani's giving you incredible value. And if you're new to this channel, and you've been living under a rock, and you haven't heard of Pagani Design, they make some amazing, just amazing high quality, high value, maybe not high value subjective, but I mean just a great value, right? So let's check this one out. So this one is right up my alley. This one's done with the gemstones, or in this case, most likely not gemstones, probably just some kind of glass. You know, for me, it's all about the look. As far as quality, you know, with Pagani Design, like I said, you really get a lot of bang for your buck. The specifications on this are going to be kind of minimal. When you do find these watches on sites like Aliexpress, which is where I'm going to link you for you guys to pick this up, you know, you are kind of limited. Now, you can always reach out to Pagani, but I don't know what kind of luck you're going to have trying to get them to respond. I have never been able to get Pagani Design to actually respond to me. I have had sellers on AliExpress who sell Pagani reply back, but a lot of times these companies are selling under different names, and you don't know if you're actually talking to Pagani or just a reseller. So, nevertheless, it's a great company. I own several Paganis, and I really like their product. So, Pagani is also kind of known for making like homage watches. It's one of those brands where they make, you know, your Submariner style watches, your classic presidentials, that kind of stuff. But stuff like this, remember, when you have a watch that's round, a lot of people automatically say, oh, there's another iced out Submariner homage. It's not really the case. Anytime a watch is round, we have to be careful not to automatically call it a homage, right? A homage is really a watch that is one-to-one identical to another watch, a more expensive counterpart normally, that, again, one-to-one with just without the branding, basically, right? It could either be a blank watch or, you know, they do make replica watches out there. You know, buy what makes you happy. It's your money. But generally, Pagani watches they do make a lot of one-to-one copies, but they say Pagani. And usually Pagani, they don't really, usually there's a little more of a difference. Like when you have the one-to-one blanks or the one-to-one copies that are like, if you look at it, the way they engrave like the inner ring, the size, everything is identical to the more expensive counterpart. With these watches, I kind of feel like Pagani a lot of times, their watches are inspired by the more expensive counterparts, and they make little subtle changes. Perfect example is the Pagani Panerai watch I reviewed. It's inspired by it, but when looking at it, even if it didn't have branding, you would know, hey, that's not something that Panerai does. It's similar, but it's not, right? And something like this, you got to be careful not to just say this is a homage, right? Not only because it has the stones, but this watch is just kind of its own thing. And I like when brands also do stuff like this. Now, it is not an over-the-top watch. It is relatively simple. We have a basic round case, right? Basically a screw-on case back. It is exhibition window showing off the automatic movement, which is cool. Combination rose tone, black. And what really makes this watch, for me, why I chose it, is I really like the color of the stones. We have what I would call like kind of a fire, flame, sunshine kind of colors. Screwing that totally up. We kind of have like what I would consider like a flame bezel, right? Where we have that kind of a light amber stone kind of blending into the amberish red, right? So it has kind of like a flame kind of color, fiery bezel. I love it. There's not many watches that I've ever seen, if any, that actually have these color stones. So kudos Pagani for creating something that's a little bit different. I'm sure there's somebody out there who probably has done something similar, but I dig it, totally love it. Now they do make two other color variations. We have the purple and we have the blue. And the purple's kind of cool too because they have a combination of pink and purple. Then it goes into blue stones and purple, then back to green. I think that would have been a much better color choice if they would have done just the pink and purple fading around to the entire bezel and got rid of the blue and the green. We have seen rainbow bezel watches all over the place for many, many years. I like when they kind of do something different with the stones. I had many of the rainbow bezel watches by companies like Dexo, and I believe I had a Pagani as well. Maybe I still have a Pagani, but I like when they just kind of do something a little different, right? Hence the reason why I didn't choose the purple. Going over to the baby blue, same thing. We have just a traditional rainbow bezel. That would have been much better doing a combination of light blue, white, and maybe a baby blue stone. But they did a great job on this one because they just did the amberish red and kind of like more of like a citrine colored stone. So really nice. I also really like the strap on this. It's like a canvas type material, and I think it has leather on the back here, but I'm not sure if it doesn't smell like leather. It might be like a synthetic leather. You know, comfort is subjective, but I like that it's different. They did a Velcro style on this, which is kind of like you're seeing on the, I'm sure other companies have done this, but most recent release, Omega's Moons watch, has this kind of Velcro strap. Pretty cool. But what I like about the canvas on this one is that it has kind of like a khaki-ish gold kind of tint to it. So it definitely complements the rose tone accents on this. It definitely complements this little bit of kind of beige around the inside of the ring here, almost like a pale flesh color almost. It's a great look. Now the only thing I don't like about the watch is on the Velcro part of this, they made this come up so high, and I understand why they did, because you want this to be able to fit, you know, many different wrists. But, you know, when you're wearing it, you see a lot of this black on here, and I'd really like to see more of the canvas. So I think what would have been a much better idea is if they would have coated the back side of this, not with the black leatherish type material, but the canvas. So when you actually put this watch on, you see this continuous color going down the front. And I'll demonstrate what I mean by that. When I put this on, you know, from this side, it looks great. You can really see that canvas goldish, kind of canvas shimmery kind of color. But when you bring it on this side, you see half the strap is all black. So I think they could have improved upon that. Again, just skin this with that same color canvas. But it's a very small complaint. Overall, the watch is really cool and a really nice addition to my collection. As far as the functions on this here, we have, it's not a chronograph. So we have, of course, the time, of course, naturally. And then we have what appears to be a day of the week and day of the month. And then it looks like I don't know if that's a second hand. I'm not really sure if that's, I'm not sure what the other complication is, to be honest with you. But you basically press the top function pusher to change the day of the week. And you probably just wind the crown to get this to spin around to, that might be a 24-hour indicator, actually. So let me see if I can get a couple close-ups here so you can see. Get this to zoom in a little bit more. There we go. Just a great looking piece. If you're a guy who likes the iced out look, you know, I've said it many times, when you amass a huge collection of watches, it starts to become difficult to find things that you haven't seen already or that you don't own. So this one definitely was an exciting addition to my collection because it is different, right? And so totally dig it. All right, so let's talk about specifications on this now. So this is the PD 1732. It is an automatic. We are looking at 40 millimeters a case diameter, your standard kind of regular size watch. And they say here's this V2 Rainbow Circle Men's multifunction wristwatch with sapphire crystal, which is incredible for the price. 72 bucks with sapphire. It just goes to show you that sapphire has been something that has been hyped up. Again, it is the most scratch resistant material, but it's been hyped up to the point where you know, companies overcharge for it. Absolutely, because now we're getting watches that are $73 shipped with sapphire crystal. So as far as the raw specifications on this is what they have on Aliexpress. There's not a lot of information here. We just have, yeah, case-shaped round, right? I mean, that's pretty straightforward. Band material rubber. It's not really rubber. It says here it has a complete calendar, week display, and a Rattrapant? I've never heard of that. Well, I don't know what that is. 10 bars water resistance. It says here buckle clasp. It's not. You know, I think a lot of times they just kind of produce so many watches like this that when they put them on AliExpress, they just aren't really thinking of the watch guy, in all honesty, right? And Nubeo is guilty of this too. It's a brand I review all the time. It's something that, you know, I think no matter what you're paying for a watch, if it's a $20 watch or a $10,000 watch, you want to know what movement's in the watch. It's great that they put the fact that this has a sapphire crystal, right? At least that's what they state on here. It did come with that sapphire crystal. So if I have to kind of take a guess here, I would think the version 2 probably was the addition of the sapphire crystal, which is great that they did that because a lot of people do want that, but a lot of people want to know, myself included, what kind of movement is it? Is it a Seagull? Is it a Miyota? Is it an NH series? And based on the looks of this, I'd say this is a copy of a Miyota of some sort. It's kind of cool they actually have a customized rotor on this with the P logo, the Pagani logo, kind of carved out into the rotor. Very cool. I mean, pretty awesome for the price. And ultimately, you know, I know that no matter what the movement this watch has in it, Pagani, you'll find movements in Pagani from Miyota to NH series. It really just depends on the model. And I find that they make watches that are in that, you know, $100, $150 price range. It's generally going to have more of your brand name movements. And usually they will list them. Something like this, they're not giving you any information on that. So that's unfortunate. But overall, I mean, for the price, if you are used to Pagani Design and you know what kind of quality you get, you're still getting that same quality. I assume this is 316 stainless steel, but it has been plated with something. I'm not sure exactly what, but generally plating techniques are pretty awesome nowadays. I've never had really any watches fail from that. I mean, every watch has the potential to wear out, but you know, for the price point, you really can't go wrong. So who's going to buy this? If you're a guy who loves the iced out bezels, it's not for everybody, of course. I am a guy who really appreciates, you know, having that. I really like a watch that's, when you start to get a watch that's a little bit smaller, you kind of need something to make it kind of pop. For instance, as much as I like this Dixo, right? This is a kind of a Submariner style watch. You know, we've seen this over and over again, and it's beautiful. I like it. I'll wear it. I'll enjoy it. But, you know, for instance, when we start looking at something like this Spinnaker, right? The color, the shape, the case shape kind of set it apart a little bit. When we look at this Citizen, as much as I think this is an awesome watch with its technology, it is definitely more of a subtle, and nobody's going to notice this watch. You have to be kind of a watch guy to appreciate this, or just buying a watch for its features. With Pagani, you know, you're mainly buying this watch not because you're looking for the best depth rating, that you're looking for, you know, a brand with tons of heritage. You're buying this because you like the way it looks, and because for a 40mm watch, when you start throwing in that ice on the bezel, it just gives it a great look. I mean, it is subjective, it is my personal opinion, but I love it. I'm glad I have it in my collection. If you guys want to pick it up, I'll put the links in the description. As always, subscribe to the channel. Give this video a like and a thumbs up. Come on now. The only reason YouTubers say that is to help the algorithm. Just do it and shut up about it. Anyway, folks, but in all seriousness, if you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to get you an answer. Drop me an email, drop me a comment. As always, folks, have a fantastic day and take care.